seconded. I'll open the meeting. The first one on the agenda tonight is Mike Sabatini to review shop drawings and of new barn doors of the back of the barn. Three proposed locations for installation. Now I'll recuse myself.
Okay, John Cardello recuses
Myself
himself.
been thrown out.
Okay, well, take a coffee break, right?
Please come again.
Just stay up.
Yep,
Sit up here, right?
yep, and there's no squeaky. Okay. So in everybody's package on the table for, in your tonight's What's Happening package, there is just a reminder of the process for Mike Sabatini's project. So it looks like this, it's got a paper clip, and this comes from the preservation agreement. So just as if you need reference, it's here, and if you have a question or clarifying question, we can refer to this, you can ask me, I pretty much know it, but this is the original restriction agreement where the Raleigh Historical Commission is the acting agent, if you will, on this property, right? Because you both are new to this project. I just thought I'd have reference material for you if you needed it. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Sabatini, would you like to begin?
Yes, for some of the newer boards, I mean, periodically do an update of what I've been doing all along. I have a master plan, I pretty much prepared a master plan a long time ago. And as I work through my master plan, I come in and tell you guys what I've been doing, especially if it relates to you guys since you're the newer people on the board. And then some of the things I am here to get permission for to go forward.
Okay, just tell me when you want me to advance the,
You may advance, please. And you have a little square sheet you can follow
Yeah.
along.
oh, can I have one? Thanks.
So the quick background is this is the second oldest continually operated farm in the U.S. It was deeded by the King Charles to the Bradstreets in 1635. It's listed on the National Register of Historic Places. So we have a whole different set of rules we have to abide by. This also carries a 61 agricultural and horticultural designation, which basically means I am a farmer. Okay? IT specialist. The overview today is the L. The L is the extension off the back of the main barn. It was begun in 1897, finished in 1911. The second part we'll cover today is the structural repairs for the L predominantly, and then a bunch of exterior things I've been working on. So the L, on the gable end of the L, it had a bunch of 1970 style windows, just typical vinyl hung with some springs on the side. I replaced those 1970 style window at the end of the L with the 1842 reclaimed window from the first Congregational Church in Raleigh.
We saw that on our site visit.
So I got the date, which is some historic people in town. I got the date, and then there's the original window that was put in the church in 1842. So that's pretty cool. This is an example of what the basement windows to the L foundation, and I've been restoring them, and this gives you a before and after as I take them out of the stone and I put them back in. And you can see it look pretty much the same. This is an example of the barn from the west. This is the original set of pictures that came from the property when I purchased it from the historic preservation. This is what it looks like after. If you go back one, you'll see after 1911 they started sealing up windows and changing the purpose, especially after 1935 when the oil when the milk prices dropped below 5 cents a gallon, they stopped using it as a barn. In my process of renovation, I put the windows back in that had been boarded up. And then there was a door on the far left that they added, and I took the door out, and I put the little window back in. So now it's back the way it was from
So all those
1911.
windows, you found evidence of?
Yes, when you look on the inside, the framing's still there because the walls are all exposed.
And the
There's a
size
picture
is
of it
what
later.
it was there.
Yes,
Oh,
and we have pictures of that too.
Were they 1/1s? The original windows, were they 1/1?
I don't know that. I don't know.
Go back a picture, you can see it.
All I have is what they put from, this is the pictures of it, all I have. And what the date of these windows are, I don't 100% know.
Can you zoom in on that so we can see what the panes are like?
These would be considered no words,
No.
1/1, because there's no grills.
Yeah,
no, I can't.
But I do
I'm
have,
just kidding.
if you're asking, I do have closer ones,
Okay.
but I don't know the exact age
Okay,
of those
so
windows.
before, after.
Right.
Next.
This, again, this is a better picture, you can see how it's just a 1/1.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah.
And then those are the two that they had added up there, and I took it out and put the one from Second Congregational Church.
Okay, next one shows the blocking.
You asked a good question. This is showing you how they have blocked them up over time. And I just took it out, and so now you have a window back. And they're using, most part, using the same framing, because it's still there.
Okay, so this is this is what we're gonna talk about today.
Yep,
Yeah?
but we can
You
just
wanna
keep going forward.
Okay.
Just showing you that I put the windows back. This shows from the inside, the gable and door that have been blocked up. See in the middle?
Yeah.
See the newness?
Sorry.
Right.
Go.
Okay, so I'm just trying to show you from the inside how things have been blocked up, and that shows you the outside, how they sealed up the door. And when I got it, all you had was the two upstairs and the little one off the side. I started putting this one in, okay? And this is showing the first congregational church, actually. The window up in there, and then the doors, the single doors I put back in, and then the big space for the would have been a double door in the middle. This shows what it was probably when you guys came here only a month or so ago, and then you'll see how I went afterwards when we cleaned it all up. Stuck with the cottage red because the cottage red is the primary color of the doors. If you go back, you'll see it. And since it's a little brighter, that's all, but it's cottage red. Some people call it barn red, some people call it cottage red.
Okay, we'll keep moving.
Yep, I'm going fast. This whole sectional wall in the barn had collapsed. When I purchased it, that wall was already on the ground. Just showing me just rebuilding all the structural components. So we're in section B now, so I'm structurally rebuilding all the stone foundations. This shows rebuilding the structural foundations, putting all new sills and taking out all the rotted floor framing. This is the corner. There was a fire in April 13th or so. A fire in April 13th, 1974, which burnt most of this to the ground. I got the dates. And so this is me taking everything up and getting rid of all the rot, especially this next picture. Way down where I am, this was so bad, I had to put layers of plywood over it just so people wouldn't fall through the floor on a temporary basis.
Yeah.
This is us putting the subfloor back the way it was. You can see the old subfloor versus what I put in.
Here's the fire damage.
Showing you some of the fire damage, some of the pieces that I tried to keep and save, and me putting a whole new section in on that lower picture. It's all brand new posted beam framing with the subfloor, and then you can see some of the stuff we left. And I sourced all the lumber from Herrick Sawmill, local guy. Now we're getting the part about the right side of L when it relates to the garage doors and stone veneer. This picture is showing you the one single post that was there holding up the whole building, and you can see the sag. The far left-hand wall, which is halfway in the shadow, that shadow line is like diagonal, that's a cement block wall. And after the fire, the whole part of the building burned down there, so instead of putting wood, they put a cement block wall to hold it back up. And there's, I don't even know if you want to call it a wall, but there's, under the right-hand window, there's, behind that sliding door, there's a little bit of a wall, but it's completely rotted. So basically, that one tree trunk in the middle is holding up the whole building when they got it.
Okay.
So, to save it, I got rid of the tree trunk and I added the 5-foot section in the middle. And from the other side, it's all traditionally post and beam, it's all 4x6 post and beam. I took out the old crappy wall over here, and I took out the block wall on the left, and I made put back a post and beam structure. And I put a little baby door.
So next,
Showing the inside using traditional framing. I didn't cheat up on anything. I used all variable width planking for the siding, 4x6 post and beam, and then all that windows are all notched in nicely. That's the center section, showing all the post and beam. You see the main timber up there just going across. Imagine the whole 50-foot building's being held up by one tree trunk. And that beam right there is the main carrier that goes 40 feet in the opposite direction with a bunch of other tree trunks holding it up. And that goes all the way through the building. One tree trunk only about part of it was rotted off. There's only about an 8 to 10 inch caliber holding up the whole building right there. So I want to go back to put the stone veneer in and to continue the stone foundation, because this is the below grade level technically. This is me showing the stone that I picked up against the existing stone wall. So this is me holding all the stone that I purchased against the stone wall, so you can see how it matched really nicely. Okay, this is a right angle under the main barn. This is the main antique barn. The new shingles on the right, that's the L component. So the two buildings come together. That's the inside corner. It's very wet there because the roof lines are all coming together. It floods. That sectional wall is a post and beam wall, and that's going to be a sliding barn door, traditional sliding barn door that will go, it will slide behind this sectional wall and keeps it out of the rain and keeps it protected. This is inspiration, a picture I got offline, inspiration of how I, come to help rebuild this, because I really didn't have any pitches, 125-year-old pitches. So this is inspiration I'm using to rebuild that rotted cement block wall. So I got the door. In my case, I have two doors, two sections, and then the little window on the end. Just an inspirational picture of how I come up with things. This is an inspiration for the style of door that I am designing and hand building. This is not what we're using, but it gives you the gist of the inspiration of what I'm trying to do, except for the diagonal. The reason why I chose this one, I'm looking for a lot of light, and the vertical matches the vertical for the only barn doors that I have on the property, which is the ones in the front, which have been repainted, and those are made with vertical boards.
Can I interrupt for a minute?
Sure.
Is this, when we went on a site visit, is this the solution to the problem we were talking about with the two doors that are on the L?
Yes, we're getting to that. So that's the essentially design, and now you're going to come up to my drawing using the glass and the vertical
from the inspiration.
for how I arrived at it. And these will be on. They can be at this point. It can be on a hinge going in, or a rolling track on the inside. It really doesn't matter at this point. So this is how I took the inspiration of the different style, trying to get as much glass as I can, because I need as much air and enough glass to keep it dry and the humidity level down, because it's very cold and wet under there. And now
And
this,
those proportionally look similar to the front of the barn?
front of the barn has one window.
But it's big. Can I go back?
Yes, you may.
So,
Yeah, that's a bigger door too.
okay, I'm gonna, yeah, I know, so I'm just gonna. Did I miss it?
Yep.
Right here.
Those are big doors. So
Right.
this opening is 11 feet wide.
And when would those windows have been put into the barn doors that way?
Don't know.
Well, that doesn't strike me as particularly typical, but it could be 1900s as a solution on a barn, I
Well,
suppose.
1911 was finished.
Yeah.
These are the years. This is the older section of building, so this barn is 1700s. I can tell you that on the right-hand side, they put plexiglass in. I took the plexiglass out and put real glass
I
in.
remember seeing the plexiglass.
All the pictures I got from the government,
But that's-
they look like
yeah.
this.
That's
So-
the problem with historic restoration, is what period do you go back to, what do you accept as the, the starting point for restoring something?
Well, this is as Mike said, this is the second oldest barn in the country, but working from the barn,
So it would have been
Continually
solid doors.
operated.
Yeah.
They would have been solid.
and it was, right,
I mean, this was done obviously towards the 1800s when glass,
right.
I mean 1900s when glass was.
Well, one good thing to look at here, and I'm glad you went back to this, Art, is I'm also looking at the windows above these doors, and you see there are 6 light windows. And also, Mike, your rendering of the door that you designed for the openings in the L, showing the windows more horizontally in terms of the proportion. Instead of, typically you'll see, a window so that the vertical dimension is greater than the horizontal dimension. And you can see that in those windows here. So I would say that whatever you're designing, whatever door you're designing, I think, and if you want to go back to your design, it seems like they're more laid down this way instead of like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
you
the
agree, Mike?
proportions are,
Barbara, you know what I mean?
I
understand,
understand,
yes.
I don't know what the solution is, but in some ways, this facade has very little relationship to the L.
Yeah.
I mean, the period of the building maybe, but we don't really have to have the windows on the same orientation.
For reference, I didn't take the picture, but if I had it, the windows, those two up there, that's all been rebuilt. You can see the old framing, and then it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You look inside, you look up there, you'll see all the new framing, and they put these windows in there. And probably you're right, because when they probably renovated it, they put those windows, and they probably made the squares to the doors a similar size, because it's pretty obvious that they're very similar.
I mean, if you look at most barns at that age, they had almost no windows.
No windows.
Right.
It wasn't purposed.
but you want them down below. Let's go back to your drawing. Nope, there it is.
I got one other question on that, Mike, just because I'm remembering our trip. I thought those were going to protect you by sliding outside, which barn door typically did, and something was going to happen inside for your purposes, behind them.
If I go to the, I went back to my thought about having them on the outside,
Yeah.
and I'm concerned that it would interfere with the stone veneer, that when they roll, that they bounce off the stone veneer. When I'm going, what do I have to pad out the doors so far, so when the stone veneer goes up, and they roll past,
Yeah.
they don't hit the stone veneer. That's where I was at. That's why when you guys left,
What is a typical profile of, do they all vary? The profile of,
Yes.
they're not,
they're from an inch to 2.5 inches, because it's real stone.
It's almost like a Boston blend.
Yeah, these are the field stone, but yes.
I also thought there was an issue with the distance inside of that to be able to slide doors past.
The track would have to go from one end of the building to the other. I'll have to put up a full 50 feet. And if you go back to the, to any of that new construction,
this one? That.
keep going. Right there. So the track would have to go from one end of the building to the other end of the building, so I can get it. So if I open up that bay, the doors would slide in front of that little door.
Right.
And if I open up that bay,
But
the
that
doors
is-
would end up sliding in front of the window.
Is that actually enough distance for the door to disappear behind you? It looks less. I mean,
Right, but just for me purposes of opening the door to
Okay.
drive in
Yeah.
and then get out, you know, I'm not gonna worry about it. But I like the idea because it stays protected.
Yeah.
I'm not against building a roof, but I like the idea of streamlined is better, and, you know, an example of less is less.
So,
And I don't see anything like, yes, I have a gutter up there now, and, but just to keep any additional water off of everything, anything and everything. So if I hide the doors on the inside,
I'm gonna move from the inside.
yes, the rolling track will be on the inside.
Okay. And how, you will hang them,
I have the original steel tracking.
and they're gonna hang this way and move?
The steel track goes in, it's a U shape, and then it's a set of wheels that go up, and it drops in, it comes in from the end, and the bracket comes down, it grabs onto the door, it bolts, and then you just slide. If the word, if you, the thought is to put them on the outside, then I take the pine trim and I pad it out more and more to keep bringing the doors out. So the trap will be mounted across the whole very, very top, and I just pad that out, you know, 2.5 inches.
You don't ever conceive of this having, like, not being freezing in the winter, right? I mean, this section down here. You're worried about water in it, right?
I'm
You
worried
didn't talk
about water, and I am worried about
You are worried about temperature?
temperature eventually, because I want to have a shop in there. I like to keep it.
The sliding barn door, again, was never invented to keep cold out.
Nope,
so-
but if I go on the inside, at least if I'm on the inside, there's a clasp system, where a bracket goes like this, and you can take the barn door and you can go like this, and it sucks it tight to the
Really?
wall.
Yeah.
So I did find that.
Yeah.
Now, that just means I don't open it a lot during the winter, because
Yeah.
every time you open it, it's closed, and I just use individual doors. I don't envision using it a lot, because I'm not gonna have tractors or, there won't be any, because I'm too anal. There won't be any gasoline-oriented items in the basement, so there's no tractors going in there. The ATVs will be off to the side. But I have a lot of wood stored in there right now, I have shingles in there right now.
Sarah, what do you think, what are your thoughts about the inside track?
If this is the best solution that we can get because of the stone, I guess I didn't understand when we were out there, when we did the site visit, we kind of really talked about this and said, okay, let's mimic what's out on the front, we'll do the exterior track, there was a little cap to cover.
The little roof.
Right, and do what was out in the front, and it felt like it would be more real, like more believable.
It's not, let me just say, it's not outside the realm of possibility. But when it comes across the top, I just have to build it out far enough, more.
That's my concern.
And
too.
then to be able to roll
Sarah,
past it.
For all this conversation and the visit, we don't gain much by having something that, I always call it kind of the Disney World version of old age. You know, I mean, the doors that really don't belong on there that way, it's a lot for you to do and maybe pay for if it doesn't really bring it back to something people look at and say, yeah, that's right.
I know we're trying, I know there's a lot of constraints, I know that the water is a big constraint,
Right.
I know that we're trying to keep it dry, and I got it, I know. I just, now you threw another wrinkle in, and it's the stone, and the doors aren't gonna slide over nicely.
I would have to pad it out, the top track, more.
Mike, is the stone installed on this face yet?
Sitting right there.
Yeah, no, is it installed?
No, it's piled up.
Can't go yet, until
Okay,
we find a
so-
solution for this.
So if you put the doors on the exterior, and put a little roof over it, and you add a single solid door that, for each opening, so that the door on the right opening would slide to the right over that window,
An eyebrow.
and the door to the left would slide over you could always slide slice the stone so that it's a veneer, and when you apply it to the wall, the outside plane of the stone is fairly consistent, so you don't have the 2.5 inch or whatever variation
Yeah.
in the depth of the stone. So you'd have to, have a mason that, or yourself that,
Mason.
with a saw, and you're gonna have to sort of, either that, you buy the stone, if that's the stone you bought, then I guess you have to use it, but
This stone has been sliced.
it has.
Oh, yeah.
Can you slice it more?
The stone is usually this big,
Well, of course.
or
regular piece of
45,
stone.
50, 60 pounds. It's already been sliced down to
I've
an
used-
inch and a half, 2 inches.
I've used the stone that he's talking about, and it is sliced. It's a consistent, like, 1.75 to 2.5, and it's round, and it's like a Boston tan or a colonial tan, and it's meant to be stuck to a metal mesh.
Right.
And it is fairly consistent, but it's not that consistent. You can't slice a rock. It's just not gonna happen.
So, now we're back to all right, let me ask this, do you like the door style? And then we just have to figure out the track mechanism to attach it.
I think for me, I'd like to see it dimensioned out, because I think that some of the proportions are a little, on the vision one, it looks more believable.
This is what I just drew this, as over, drawing over your sketch.
Yep.
So that's what I mean about, I like the fact that the glass panes are more vertical than horizontal. And also, I think the bottom constructed piece, I think maybe wider panels of wood instead of the real thin pieces that you've shown. It's just a thought.
Did you say you were gonna build these?
Yes. I drew a 2x6 frame.
So why have the lights at all?
Why do I want glass? Because I want to be able to see inside and keep air in there. Air from,
Artificial lights?
right.
You don't want.
Well, I can have artificial light, but it would be dark beyond dark beyond dark. And the sun comes in, it's going to give me some
Because
warmth.
it's gonna be a usable workshop,
Right.
and in the wintertime, you would want the
The sun,
light, and sunlight.
the warmth from the sun in that pocket.
And
Yeah.
it's not, for me, it's not a non-viable design, because it's mimicking, in a sense, what's happening out at the front. So I could go for it, but I think the way you proportioned out the windows is a little bit
More
better.
vertical.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
so
one.
try to get,
So
yeah.
we need, I think.
And this
we need
picture
to
actually shows a little bit more
Yeah.
vertical, so that's
have
good.
a drawing that shows the dimensions that might work better.
Yeah. So a little more vertical on the lights.
Yeah.
Mike, I was just taking a drive along Route 22 out in Essex last week, and on my way to the Village Restaurant from Hamilton, going that direction. And I believe there's a barn that's fairly similar to yours in terms of, it's got an L, and it's got, a lower level, just almost like what we're looking at. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I saw that, and I said, gee, that's a really good example for Mike, so I don't know if you ever want to go by and have a look at that.
Sure.
Is it on 133?
No, it's on 22.
22.
It's on 22, going towards Essex. When you come out to where the intersection where 33 is, right there. And it's
Yeah.
before that on the left. I think it's either before the farm, I think it's before the restaurant called the Farm,
Mm-hmm. I know what that is.
on the left.
That's probably a good precedent.
Down by the old Junction ice cream stand. Those
I
days.
know what that is.
All right, so take the glass and make it more vertical as opposed to horizontal in the picture.
Great, and Bill, can we borrow your
Yep.
sketch as a guide, and I can, yeah, that looks good.
Nebraska
Something
looks
like
nice.
that,
that was,
something like that.
This is
We
what I was
can-
actually trying to go for, but maybe my pictures. See this one? And so when I chipped off, and that shows a little bit more vertical. And it's a 3x2, 3 foot by 2 foot.
Okay. Well, you know what, let's see if we can get another version of this
Okay.
to look at. draw it up, PDF it, and then I could send it to Mike, Barbara, and Bill over the next week for comments and
Just throw some dimensions on it.
revisions.
Sure.
And
You know,
then,
the glass lights and the door and stuff.
and then let's look at the next revision.
Okay.
Is that,
Mhm.
because I think it just needs light tweaking
Okay.
at this point. And then, when we have that, then we need to figure out how we're going to do the install, what the solution is on that. You'll have a better idea.
I'll lean towards trying to make it on the outside, so I'll put in the little roof up, and go to the outside with it.
And if you're going that far, you know, with the fine tuning of the design, just to, if you can give us an idea of what the hardware is gonna be. Yeah, at least a pull or whatever, you know, I mean, you're gonna put pulls on the door, so if you're gonna move it, so, you know, if you can get an example of that.
Okay.
Unless you're gonna find something that's antique or whatever.
There are, I haven't gotten that far, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
But
The answer to your question is yes, I would, but I haven't gotten that far.
yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's wait for the revisions and we can do the tweaking
Okay.
on the proportions of the design that's,
All right.
and we've already kind of exhausted our time. So was there anything else that needed to be brought up? Tonight's purpose was the door, so.
Then I'll stop right there.
We're good, okay. Is there something that you want to bring up to us? I think, we're gonna have to find out about you. Hold on, we have to make sure we can get a quorum for you.
The next
For
time we meet.
July, if you
Okay.
want to meet with us in July
Okay.
for something else, or upcoming, or more
Or
work,
the
or
pictures or
whatever,
whatever.
we have to make sure, and that might be a special meeting, just because we need a quorum.
All right.
Because we have a lot of recusing today. All right, so let's leave it at that, and we will see a revised, image with
Showing more vertical
dimensions.
glass.
More vertical, and then that will be, by PDF is preferable, so we can send it around and make design tweaks and send it back to you, okay? Are we all in agreement with that?
Yes.
Okay, good. So why don't we make a motion a motion please to accept a design tweak that will come around in the next week, and that we will have a further discussion about this, and then we can always revisit it
Sure.
if we need to, but I know you want to get moving on this. If we have to have a special meeting, we can.
What you're asking is relatively simple, and I'll tell you why, because I'm trying to get the sections out of the Brosco book, so I'm gonna buy that and then insert it into the window.
Okay, so,
So I checked the window, just rechecked it, showing the vertical glass. So basically, I would buy that panel and then input it
all right,
into the
but
frame.
draw it out, don't do Photoshop, draw it out and make sure that, you know, we're getting
Better scaling.
a little drawing like this, scale it out and put the dimensions on it, so that way we have something that we, you know, we can look at scale,
Yes.
okay?
Yeah,
And
that-
we need that anyways, per your agreement,
I
we have that
understand.
scale drawing. Yes, Bill?
So the Brosco cut sheet you have there, with the width of that window, that section that you're looking at is about 3 feet.
On this one, yes.
So you're gonna put two of them together.
So in this case, I would change that out and go to this one, a 3x2, so you can get what you want.
Okay, so we'll have to see how that looks in the door to scale.
Yeah, scale.
So you gotta draw the door to scale and then the window to scale, so we see how it looks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do a 1/4 inch scale drawing so it's big enough so that way we can understand it and see the proportions, dimension it. Just, you can even do it on graph paper, but make sure it's nice and, you know, neat, and that way we can just make sure it looks good. But do you think you can do that this week? So
Yes.
that way we can do that? All right, good. Motion, please.
Take a look. All right.
Move to have him make drawings, and then we'll have another meeting to look at the changes to the window, vertical proportions that goes on.
Second.
I second it.
Good, thank you. Thank you, Mike. and we need to adjourn this meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn the Raleigh Historical Commission meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mike. Okay. Chairman Todd, would you like to
Hi,
rejoin
Mike.
us?
Nice to see you. Yeah.
John, member? Oh, yeah.
It was extortion, you didn't have so much fun. Said,
Well,
saw that, the vertical window, yeah.
Well, there's only the one part, or IT must have the other part. Okay, so. Sorry, tight corners here tonight. All right. Chairman Todd, the next item on our agenda tonight is 88 Main Street.
So we're gonna open
Open this
the,
meeting.
District notes.
Ah, thank you. Right, good.
Plus we have to open this meeting.
Yeah, somebody's on the ball. Would you like to open this meeting, Chairman
I'll
Todd?
take a motion to open the district commission meeting.
I make the motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okey dokey. So we'll go right into review and approval of the district notes from last meeting. Any comments?
I read them today, so I don't have any comments.
I read them as well.
I read them also.
Me too.
Awesome.
I wrote them. No other
All is
comments?
well. Okay, then we'll,
Motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
I second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Good. Now the first, second issue on the meeting here is 88 Main Street.
Good.
Application from Derek and Nicole Weistecker to review a new addition approximately 18 feet by 29 feet to the rear of existing residence, contractor Robert Scully representing.
Hello,
Hey.
welcome.
Welcome.
Bob Scally.
That fellow out there like to come in, sit down.
Let me see. I'll go ask.
Kind of ironic, I was here 6 years ago, about the same time. I bought this house on foreclosure.
This is the,
Well, the side.
is this the same project?
Same structure, yeah, okay. Yeah, this was taken 6 years ago, 2011.
So it's been renovated since then.
Yeah, I did the
Yeah,
renovation
it's
on it.
lovely, yeah.
And this is what I purchased in 2011, and I sold it to the clients that currently own it, Derek and Nicole. And these are photographs of where it stood back when it was first purchased, okay? The next set of photographs are in its current state.
My legs, yeah. It's really nice.
Front of the house, side of the house, a couple photos there. I was asked to bring a window photographs. It was taken in the spring.
I'd say it's the dogwood.
Yeah, it hadn't come in bloom just yet.
Yeah, there you go, and this is with,
I see.
yeah.
Okay, the back one had a little side entry porch in it. It was removed. It was first purchased in 2011, I believe, or 10. And what I'm proposing, the family that lives there has 3 kids. They needed more space, we looked around, they want to stay in Raleigh, and they decided that it was either try to find a new piece of land or add on to this building. So we've chosen to add on to the building, and what we're proposing is to put on a side entry, mudroom entry. They basically kind of outgrown the house. And add on in the back, this wing, this thing that's put on, this is the old porch area. So we're gonna shear the roof off that, go back another 14 feet and add a second floor to it. All right? The whole facade is going to show all the existing trim work, all the existing detail. The windows that are in the existing building right now are 6/6 pattern, and they're all replacement windows. I don't know when they were put in, they were there when I obtained the building, when I first got there. And to match those, the closest I came up with was I bought a Harvey window that meets current insulation codes, the 6/6 white vinyl window, and I got it made without any casings on it, and I applied new casings and new sill to it.
This is a new,
That's a new window, correct, yeah. You can see the band molding wrapped around the top of it and down the sides, and the bottom is a cedar sill. Okay, and the old window is the same type of thing. It's got an actual pine sill with a replacement sash in it, inside of the casings, and it has this band molding on the top of it. Okay? So all the clapboards are on the original house, they're a mix of pine and cedar. On the new edition, they'll all be cedar, 1/2x6 cedar. All the trim work at the top, it's probably, I think it's like a 4-layer detail at the top right in both these windows. That will carry straight through. And on this little dividing section back here, we match this corner out front. Okay, it has the 2 pilasters coming down. So, and the other thing too is that they have this wood stove installed in this addition in the back, okay? And to get rid of this unsightly pipe, okay, we're gonna run it up through a closet space in the second floor, all right? We're gonna put an elbow onto it, chase the roof line up, and get it out on the back side of the house, so that you might see from the street just the cap, because of the 10-foot two rule. Okay, there might be a small cap of this showing out back of this area here. But 90% of that pipe
Right.
gone.
That thing.
That thing, yeah. So that would disappear. So all of this trim work on this facade would stay the same. We match everything back in. I think it's painted some type of, I can't remember the exact color. Olive color, some kind of historical color. Painted it. I have to look it back up.
I may have it in the original file if you need it.
I have samples, I have
Oh, you
all the
did?
information. I have a file from the first renovation at home, so I know what colors put on the house. Okay, so all the trim work's basically gonna carry through down the addition. The gutter thing will carry through. Those downspouts are the old corrugated type downspouts, okay? And that-
like Galvey Gordon.
Yeah, they're like Galvey corrugated, okay? We'll get those
You're
report-
gonna carry that?
Yeah, I need one extension on that, the wooden gutter.
So I got a couple of questions for you
Yep.
real quick. So on this elevation here, you're gonna carry the corner board design over here,
Yes,
and you're gonna carry the same width?
same with, yeah.
So it's gonna have that recessed piece in the middle?
Yeah, that corner board is like a piece of 1x10, which is 9
Yeah.
1/4, and it has 2 little ribbons on it.
Right,
And
right.
it has a bottom ribbon and a top one.
Right. The other question I have is, how exposed is the foundation?
Not at all.
Not much exposure?
No, right now, right in this area here, I think we have 4 courses of brickwork, okay? And this is all concrete. The grade runs uphill,
Okay.
so I would say at the very end of this thing, it's probably only gonna be about 3 inches of concrete showing.
All right, if there was gonna be more showing, I would recommend like a brick shelf and then,
Right, yeah.
facing it with brick, so you have a consistent look. So brick to brick on the foundation, not concrete. But since it's kind of, it's set way back and it's not very high off the ground,
This whole addition part here is behind a fence line too. Okay, there's a fence line. I don't know if you can see it.
Hold on, let's see what I have. Oh,
That's the other one.
It says
That's
on
my
B.
neighbor.
That's on B's house.
That bees out, you know.
I heard that today. That's on B. I think you can see
So-
there's a fence right there.
Yeah, there's a fence
That's-
like right at the corner board right there.
It was too hot to walk today.
Yeah, I went on Google instead. So-
They're very
So Bob, this piece here is existing,
That's the existing,
one story.
one story on the back of it that's marked out with this yellow line here.
Is that sitting on a full foundation or just a frost wall?
It's sitting on, there's no basement under it, it's sitting on a frost wall with crawl space under it. Okay, there's two heat ducts that run out underneath there.
Because this is leading up to my next question. I know it's probably minuscule, but have you ever thought about just sort of stepping this back about a foot to give it some definition instead of going along the wall?
I haven't given that much thought because they just want to continue the same facade out on the back.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's going to read, even though you're gonna have this.
break.
The break.
Mhm.
And if the clap is all on the same plane going back, it's gonna read like one long wall. You know, and sometimes just a step back, just to give that definition of, it looks like it's you know, another part of the house, but not all on the same plane. I mean, it's a suggestion, I know you know.
I guess from a construction point of view, if you step that back, there's either going to be a break in the roof line.
Yeah, there would be a break, and that's the other thing, it would be a nice break, it'd be that break in the roof line as well.
There'd either be a break in the roof line, or there would be a rise in the plate if the roof line was one continuous one.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's a suggestion.
Or add a shadow in a way.
Yeah, it provides a shadow. So that's one comment I have. The other thing is that I noticed that in this elevation, you have the front, this is the entry door, front door, and then on this elevation, the back elevation, you're showing another door, so you're gonna have actually two doors into this?
Right, if you look at the site, if you're on the site itself, right outside of the existing door, there's a septic tank that's raised up that has a rock foundation around it.
Yeah.
So to get, when we put this addition, this little side addition on, to get actually out to the back, if you were just leaving out one door, okay, you would have to either go all the way around the septic system, or you'd have to go over the septic system. There's a little retaining wall, there's a little rock retaining wall there, some kind of plantings. So that's just these access to the backyard. There's actually a walkway that goes along the length of that building to that fenced-in gated area, okay?
So you would see a step then here.
I'm suspecting one step. Right now I have two steps. The grade is going up towards the back. Okay, so I'm one step. The other thing is there'd be a step down out of the house. One step down out of the house. We have two rises right now, two rises into the house, so this would be really tight and low to the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the things with the way the roof line is trying to not interfere with those windows that are already existing there. That step down will allow that to slide underneath those windows.
And is this gonna be a new door?
It's an existing door now, they want you to reuse the existing door that's there. It's a 6 light above, and it's a cottage panel on the bottom.
So this is a new addition? This,
Correct.
Vestibule, it's
Yeah.
a new, applied to the house. So the other questions I have with that addition, it looks like the corner board here is at least on this drawing, is shown kind of narrow, like maybe a 1x4 or something.
It would probably, 1x4 and 1x5, to give you a 5.5. The thing with that, if you put that large corner board on, that little tiny addition.
Yeah, it will look too
It's out of
too much.
scale.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
it
agree.
loses its
So I was just thinking that, I agree with that, but I was just thinking if you could
We could do a smaller version.
maybe do like go with a 1x6, that'd be 5.5. I mean, that would give it a little, I'm just thinking you need a stronger
Presence on the
presence
corner?
on the corner,
Okay.
just to sort of carry some of the same relative weight on these. They can't be that's way too big for that, I agree. But you know what I mean, just to fatten it up. And then also, what about the door casing? Just, where's the front door? Yeah, okay, so just looking at the front door, maybe you want to beef the casing up a little bit too. Well, this is like that.
What's that?
This is the neighbor's house.
Oh, that's the name.
This was what was on the house originally, and this is what I suspected to be underneath of all this mess,
Yeah,
and this is what we found.
well, nice.
So this was non-usable space at one time. We restored all these windows. We put all, they had a stash of old glass hanging around the house.
So my suggestion would be just to fatten up the casing
Okay.
around the
Yeah, it's
door a
not
little
brick
bit.
mold or anything
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, okay.
The same band mold that can be applied to that casing with no problems at all, the national window. It's 1 3/4 by 3/4 inch band mold. It's not stock, but it's different.
And then looking at the, sorry guys.
This is
I
great.
wrote all these
This
notes
is
I
down.
know,
good.
you came prepared.
So
Oh,
the back elevation, what's happening up here? I don't see any windows.
They have added 2 windows since this
Oh.
all was drawn.
All right.
Okay, that's the
Makes sense.
kids' bathroom, kids' bedroom upstairs.
Okay.
They've added 2 windows, and that's in behind the house.
And they're putting in this mega slider on the first floor?
That's what they want, yeah.
Is there going out to it there?
Goes out, it's so low to the ground, it actually goes out to a patio, a fire pit, you know, a raised up area.
Well, it's not something that we'd see.
No.
So I don't think, probably. So, okay, so those are my comments.
I'm not, you know, if the client wants a double slider, I'm kind of against the double slider thing, and I'm about involved, so.
We're just, I mean, could you talk to them about saying you can set this back a little bit? Or is that gonna be adequate?
I don't think, I can certainly ask, you know.
I mean, just suggest to them that it'll look better, it'll have a shadow line,
Mhm.
it'll look set back like it is an addition, it's not like
One big
just
huge.
one long wall.
Like an
It
apartment
certainly wouldn't,
building.
I looked at the plans, it certainly wouldn't disrupt your second floor at all.
No, it's
Because
just,
your
that's a
wall is
bedroom
right
break.
there,
You
right?
know, it shorten the closet by a little bit, you know.
First floor, you have a fireplace.
Carry over a little bit, carry the same.
Right, just shifts.
I mean, for their benefit, I mean, I think the house would look better if they did.
On your first floor, it just impacts, it's just a tweak, because you're trying to create the open concept area here.
Well, this is
So it's-
existing.
Right, but you're trying to shift, right? Isn't it right here?
We'll be shifting down here on the second floor. This is where that ugly pipe's gonna come up. Okay, so this is a new addition on the back.
So even,
So
so it's
basically,
even better,
this-
so
this
you
would come
wouldn't,
back-
it wouldn't impact you at all then on the first floor either.
This would come back.
No, I couldn't carry it back all the way. It'd have to break right here.
At the 14-foot addition,
Oh,
Okay, well.
which is fine, because there's a
That's
bedroom above
true.
it,
I
it's
mean,
even better.
So you're gonna keep the frost wall, you're not gonna put a full foundation? Oh, I see, okay. Then I can see why you'd wanna do that. Well, even that would be better, just to
Which
shift,
one?
yeah, to maybe shift this
Tuck this
back,
up.
Oh,
like that.
Right.
So at least you would break up that long plane.
yeah, nice detail. I agree, yeah.
So it wouldn't bother your family room on the first floor, and it wouldn't bother the bedroom on the second floor.
It would just be 16 feet instead of 18 feet wide. Family room's down here. There you go. Oh, you have it on the screen here.
Yeah, so it would, so that's,
So that area where the stove is already existing, okay? And what it's gonna do is, the family room is gonna become 2 feet shorter, let's say, or 18 inches, 1'6" or something, and it's gonna step back and break that roof line back, is what you're asking.
right.
All right, and that way it doesn't, that roof line doesn't become 32, 40 Yeah, it becomes, you know,
Huge.
on the back side, we got, what, 26 feet, 32, becomes 50 feet long.
A lot.
So this is what you see.
Yeah, there'd be a break.
That would step back. So that would probably change the pitch of that a little bit. You'd have to,
No, that roof would step back in plane.
okay, blank, okay, yeah, all right.
It would slide back in plane, the span would be different. The back side of the roof would come up the same pitch,
Yeah.
but the ridge line would be shifted back 1 foot in difference. If you're going back 2 feet, the half the distance is 1 foot. So that would shift back 1 foot and it would drop, it's a 10 pitch on that, it would drop 10 inches.
Yeah,
And it'd be a 10-foot drop vertically,
Yep.
okay, and a shift of 1 foot back on the ridge line.
I think that would look,
Yeah, too.
Would look better.
Mhm.
It's not gonna change my cost or anything like that as far as, you know, I mean, it's just a minor change for me, it's just whether they, connection.
Kind of,
No,
all right, so that's, so,
comment?
yeah. Take that and pitch it back to your peeps. Can we come, now, we'll just let that one stop. Can we go back to the windows? You put vinyl replacement windows in, with that little slot on the sides and just like board in the sides like we do.
Yeah, it's a Hardy's application. You order them with, a non-J, okay, you order them with no J, you order them with J channel but no filler.
Right.
It's called an Elfin, and we slide the 3/4 inch board
Into the
into
pocket.
that pocket. Okay, we have to route it back on the table saw, and we slide it into the pocket, okay? And then we put the band molding on the outside edge of that. Alright,
And the windows in the building have already been done now, but years ago. That's the method that was done before.
in
Before
this,
2011, right?
in this application, when I got the building in 2011, there were replacement windows. They took out the old sashes and just stuck vinyl replacements in behind
Before you bought it.
before I bought, the whole house had windows
Then
in
you
it.
renovated it,
Mhm.
and then you put those Harvey windows.
I put Harvey windows on the new addition to match the rest of the house. That's as close as I could come. But actually, the windows, they're all thermal pane windows in the thing, a 6/6 pattern. But the ones on the front side of the house are all vinyl replacement windows with the spring jambs and sashes. I bought an actual window and made it look like the ones that were sitting in there.
So no windows in the front of the house are being touched, this is only the addition only, right?
Right.
Yeah, only, everything is new. I mean, you went through everything with a fine tooth comb the
Okay.
first time we did this.
Yeah, I didn't change any of the windows or anything that were already existing in the house. One of the reasons why we didn't change windows, okay, is because current code, okay, if I touch the windows, they all fail code on the second floor. They're 1 foot off the floor. That's why in this new section, in this new addition, there's 2 steps down here, okay? This is to get this 18 inches clearance off the floors. Okay, so I'm using the same size windows, but I need to gain some space. So I've gone to 2x8s, 12 inches on center, gained 2 inches, plus there was 1.5 foot of missing space in the house. So I'm grabbing a piece of that and knocking 2 inches off, and I'm getting the proper distance for second floor windows. But if I had replaced these windows,
And you own everything.
you own it all, you know? So, that's
I think it looks good.
the reason there.
Any other comments?
Yeah, any further comments? Okay, take a motion.
Yeah, so, just to be clear, so when I write this up, now, how do you wanna do this? Do you want me to write it up with the suggestion, the design suggestion on the board is we highly recommend? Because your client isn't here.
Right.
So do you wanna, like, you wanna get back to me? I mean, how do you want me to write this up? We need to make a decision, because I'm gonna send him a permit,
Yeah, I'd like to apply for a permit.
Yeah.
I don't have any objection to the
No, but your
thing,
client isn't
But
here.
on the other side, I can just say, hey, listen, they're gonna approve this and let it go the other way. You know what I'm saying?
Do you approve of it, the notch already in it? Step
I mean,
back,
I think that makes
and then your
the
client
best
would feel
design
better?
sense, and I just think it would look better, and I think it.
I can understand what you're saying. Number one, you got a roof line that's just all of a sudden becoming this one long strip, massive 60 foot. It's gonna have a speed bump in it too. Okay, because anytime you start mating into something that's been
Old
hanging
and
around
new,
from 1800s,
Goes on the roof line.
you do the best you can with it. You know, it's a feather, shingle it all out. You know.
It's such a vertical looking home, you
I
know,
know.
it's beautiful, and I
Yeah.
think that kind of takes
So
away
that's just
from
selling
it.
point to your client is the speed bump.
We're gonna have the speed bump no matter what, because the first section of the building can't be stepped back. The second section is
second
gonna be
section.
stepped back.
Mhm.
I don't think losing that space is gonna tell them that they're not.
Okay, so write it up with the agreement.
It's,
Okay.
it's a, you know, strong design
Strongly
consideration.
recommended
Strongly recommended.
to
You
go
know,
this
You
way.
can't mandate it, but, you know, we strongly recommend.
Could it be shorter there if it's
Well, I
space is
think,
there?
I don't know, I think that they have some living things that they are trying to accomplish, yeah?
Yeah,
This-
they
this-
have
They
3
need the
children.
space.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying
Oh.
that bump. So you're talking a foot and a half.
The smaller it is, the more difficult it is for me to construct it
Oh,
or
okay.
weather seal it. 2 feet is a nice dimension,
Yeah.
okay? 2 feet's like, you know, you
I
can get in
thought-
there
I
and
thought
put a
the-
clapboard, you can put a piece of stuff, anything smaller, you into.
I thought they were trying to grab as much square footage inside, so I'm trying to think of maybe
Yeah.
the bump out would be smaller. And
So I'll write it up as strongly suggested, and I'll say, you know, this is what they want to approve, blah, 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 can we live with that? If they really start bucking the thing, I'll get back to you,
I think that's a good idea.
okay?
Yeah.
And, you know,
Okay.
the other thing I can also do is I can say, listen, if you want to go back to the board, you gotta wait another month, you know?
So, do you want me to make a motion?
Yeah,
All right, so I make a motion that, that the committee strongly suggests that the new addition on the footprint be stepped back to give a shadow line for better definition of the elevation on the south side. And also, we suggest that the corner boards
yep,
and the door casing, door trim on the new entry have a wider profile than what is shown on the elevation. So, you know, Bob, you know what I mean? So probably like a 1x6 or something like that.
I think the corner boards on this house, I ran into a strange thing, I think they're 13 inches wide on the original home.
Yeah, that's standard, I think, for this period of time.
So these want to probably be at least half the distance, so this is probably a 1x8,
Yeah,
which would be
maybe.
7¼ inches,
Yeah.
okay, with a smaller profile.
But probably the casing around the door would be like a, not a 1x8, but that's probably.
It's 1x6, you know, with the band molding on it.
So that's the,
I got it. Okay,
oh, so it's.
motion's made.
I'll second.
Right.
Aye.
Nice job. That's good.
Bob, I'm glad you're back.
I always admire that house.
Do you know I wrote about that house in the town report when it was finished? I always write a town report for at the end of the year of accomplishments and Matt, your project, I wrote about it too. Of really well-designed highlights and gems of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And, yeah, 88 has always been.
I think they tracked it down in 1854.
Oh, I went to the library today, to the archive room, and I made copies for you to give to your client and for yourself. I don't know, had you ever gone to the library to the research room? I have all this stuff, I will scan it and I will email it to you because I don't know where it is. I can't find it.
Okay.
But your client probably like to have the history on the house.
When I first came here, it was kind of funny because I wanted to get a permit for the asbestos siding. Kenny Ward, the building inspector, said, you gotta go to the historical society. I'm like, to remove asbestos siding? And he's like, yep. I'm like, okay, and that's how I ended up here.
Wow.
Asbestos siding, like,
Really?
yeah, that's how I found, I was
That's
just
how we
gonna.
started?
Yeah, asbestos siding, and I looked at him kind of funny, I'm like, taking off asbestos siding, and I gotta go talk to a historical commission to remove it.
I don't think it was so much the removal,
I
it's the
was like,
installation of what you were.
yeah, what you were gonna
The
put on it.
replacement.
We
I
found
think
the
we
old
ended up-
coining underneath the thing, we thought it was just clapboards and everything, and we found those old boards on the front.
That's nice.
They're all stacked up boards, and all Greek Bible type
It's
stuff.
amazing how people come from all this.
And that front door, I kinda knew the front door was under there, but I wasn't too sure about it.
All right,
Okay,
good.
thanks.
Thanks
All
a
right.
bunch. And, yeah, let's just stay in touch.
Yeah, you're gonna send something?
Yeah. Do you wanna ask them how they feel about it first? And then,
I'll email you back.
yeah, because Ken is not in on Friday. Well, I have time the next couple of days to write this
I
out.
won't be permitting till next week.
Okay, so let's use the next few days to make a decision,
Sure.
okay?
That'd be fine.
And then I can get something out to Tim Ward and to you via email once we kinda know.
All right.
But strongly recommended, sell it.
I'm pretty sure I can
It's
get it.
good to see you.
All right, thank you
Take
very
care.
much. Thanks.
Bye. Okay, our next appointment didn't show up.
Okay, Hazen didn't come. All right,
So
can we just skip ahead?
yeah, they don't.
We're right on
care.
time.
Well, that helps, we're right back on time. almost.
We're on time.
Good.
Okay, 48 Pleasant Street. Donna McGuire. The new construction and restoration work, the Prime House, the old Prime House. Architect Cummings.
Matthew
Hi.
Cummings, Cummings Architects. Hi. This is Donna. Sarah, would you happen to have a plan in there that shows a future barn attached to the
No.
side?
This is what I got from the planner,
Yep.
these.
I guess as my
Right.
very smart employee BJ decided not to send in things that would confuse people.
Okay, well,
So-
show us what you got. So, the members, I sent these out to the members, so we've seen this, so,
Yeah, that's cool.
all right.
And do you have, yeah, they are sort of wrinkled, aren't they?
Well, they were so tightly folded, I had to run it through the scanner and they were like.
I'm gonna put this on my easel anyways, is that
Okay,
okay?
yep, and you wanna put it here, and that way it can be seen, we can do in tandem or
Good
whatever.
idea. See, I'm gonna be passing the buck between each other.
So, Donna,
Yes.
so I went on Google today just to see where this was, and it's really out in like some fields. I didn't drive back.
That's right down the street.
Really?
Yeah.
It's in town.
Oh,
I
Bill.
went by it again today.
Well,
too.
I haven't driven by, so I mean, I just.
Oh, I
went on
have those
Google.
too, Matt.
Go to South Washington to the left.
There's
Yeah.
three
I
acres
have,
there.
Yeah, these are just the photos.
yeah, that was nice.
It's in a really
that you,
pretty
put
setting.
those in.
Yeah.
So it's not right on the street, it's really set back.
No, it's
Oh.
on the
Very
street.
It's right on the street, like
If you
on
go out
the street.
School Street here,
Yeah,
just go out School Street, when you come to
Take a
T,
left.
take a left.
Yeah.
There's
Okay, I know
about
what
5
it
houses
is.
down.
Okay, I know where it is now. Okay.
Yeah, no,
I don't know why Google,
this one.
well, I can't miss it yet.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
the tarp is pretty much gone.
Yeah,
This is the original
So
haunted
you're gonna
house.
move to town, are you?
yes.
Look at that, there we go. Isn't that
Miss
lovely?
Hale would be proud.
So, yeah, please, go right ahead, sorry, I.
That's okay. So the Joshua Prime House, 1753, it's of course, a Georgian style home. And the base of the home is still it still survives. It still has 4 rooms, the original staircase, feather-edged paneling inside. There's a lot of original panelings. There's a lot of doors that are missing, but there's still a lot of the structure there, believe it or not, even though from the exterior it looks pretty bad. Actually, from the interior, it's not so great either. But all the parts are there, they're just not in great shape. So, so what Donna would like to do is to restore the house the way it once looked. The Georgian portion of the homes, some of the major additions around the home, excepting for the rear of the home that somebody had lifted up the roof with modern 2x4s. We'd like to mask a little of that and also plan for the future, which I'm going to show you a design today and why the back of the house and the additions look the way they do that we have. Okay? So for the front of the home, or even major portions of the home around, none of the window and door locations will change. The window sizes are all the original window size openings, but there are Victorian window replacements, sashes inside the window openings. So, sort of a case-by-case basis, because a lot of the exterior of the house is very deteriorated, but if there's an original frame for a window that can be salvaged, we would like to put in original wood, not original, excuse me, authentic wood replicated sashes, okay, with a 1 1/8 inch grill pattern with a putty shape, and that would go in the Georgian portion of the home. So that might be, will be 9/6s, and that's what was in the house. And we know that because they're the original window sizes, and once we see that 2244, we know that it was a 6/9 or a 9/6, which is right. And then there'd be 6/6 windows in the other portions of the home that were built in the 19th century, 1850-ish, 50-ish, somewhere around there. Those were definitely 6/6, and that would have been a 7/8 inch grill. And that's what we would replicate, either in a sash kit, wooden sash kit that goes in the opening, and not a Marvin or Pella window that reduces the size of the window. You would go right inside the frame, or it would be replaced with a brand new wooden window with the wooden trims that match what's there. Okay? Cool. The outside of the Georgian house, we'd have wooden clapboards. They'd be smooth, and they'd have spacing that would be authentic. That might be 3.5 inches to the weather and so forth. We're not going to hand plane clapboards or put authentic nails on. We don't have that kind of budget, but anyways. Corner boards will all go back on. Any of the eave moldings, it would be original. If they have to come off, they'll go all right back on again. Okay? So nothing that you see from the house, if you don't mind, Sarah, blowing up the front of the house just because you can. It's okay. Passing the puck to you. Cool. That side's not nice. It's
Will
kinda
it
nice.
let me move it?
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Down. Well, that, I would say the front's the front door. There you go. So these window openings will all stay. The roof line will stay. Although we wrote by error we're going to use a gray asphalt shingle, we'd like to use maybe a woodscape brown shingle. So it's not really brown, it's sort of a brown grayish color to simulate a wood shingle.
Same as you used on downtown.
Maybe, I don't remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
I think that one's a little bit more brown, but maybe not.
Weatherwood,
Weatherwood.
that was your choice.
Totally.
Weatherwood. Okay.
Yeah, so the brown's not in your face, so, but it's not gray. Yep. The chimney stays, just like you see it. The doors to the sides, in their design stay, they're Greek Revival 4-panel door. We're just going to replicate them. They're deteriorated. Transom, replicate it. Sides of the house, same thing. Put windows all in the same spots. Replicate the doors, put doors in the same spots. The back of the house. This gable, we put on to hide this long roof, if you don't mind. Sarah, maybe to the right? No, up.
Yep, and then,
Yeah, thanks.
I like that, that's good to know.
Yeah. So you get this really long roof, and when you drive up, heading this way, you can see the whole thing. It's like, oh my God, right? So, if you don't mind, maybe, yeah,
moving it over a little bit.
I think you gotta go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it, to the left. You had it, don't listen to me. So that's the street side. So you can see this is the gable, and then this is that almost flat roof, right? That actually is not historically incorrect. I think, just to point at the screen about this section over, it's been framed with this 2-story modern 2x4s, but I think this section over here is authentic to a date. So our thought is, in the future, we'd have this barn that would connect out from the house, and we'd have a connector that connected to the barn. And what that would do, if you can imagine, if it running along the street side, or coming out from here and running along the streetscape, you would be hard pressed to imagine looking up at the house and seeing that really long roof. And so this gable that we've applied to the back, right, does two things.
Because Silver House Barn,
Yeah. Done any of that before. Where is it? On the front sheet. So this gable we're applying here, if you can imagine, then we have the shed roof on here. You can imagine in the future a smaller roof gable going on top of this, and that would be the connector to the barn. And then you can imagine the barn being big again outside this. And then you can imagine this shed roof not being continuous, just a little shed roof that's on the back of the house that nobody would see and feels more proportionate. So at the moment, this gable does hide a lot of this roof line that's continuous, which we're going to show you we're doing even more than that. And we understand that this little shed roof at the moment is not perfect, but the intention is that at some point we would put a gable on it. We certainly could put a gable on this right now, but that would come out so squat it would look silly, right? So the intent of this is to be temporary and to fit in the future architecture. The other thing that this gable does is we bring this ridge to the new ridge to the existing ridge line, is it allows us, so you can follow this, on this side, on the back side.
no, sorry, I'm taking notes and I'm the IT person.
What are the drawings?
Oh, you want the drawings?
Yeah. There we go. And if you,
Yep, I'm gonna
the rear
follow that.
elevation, not that rear, the other rear. This could be two rears, in this case, I suppose. So if you can see the dashed lines right here that match the front of the roof, we're building another false roof on top to connect to that ugly flat roof up to the ridge, so it has more of a salt buck shape. It's not the slope that we wish we would have. You know, we'd have more of a slope if we could, but that's the existing roof line that's given to us. So what happens is with this gable, this salt box shape is masked, so that if somebody did look today or between this future barn and this structure and looked up, they would not see this flat roof line. They would say a roof line, even if it was at a slight slope, which is far better. The other thing it does is it removes this long flat roof, right? So you end up with a little flat roof and a Beverly jog, which is totally historically correct, not inappropriate. You end up with a gable structure that's applied to the back, totally normal. You end up with a salt box shape, which is totally normal in a portion of the roof, and then a flat portion, so that you don't have, again, that big box on the back of the house. There are other things we could do, like we could have lowered this roof, or, we could have put another gable on it and stuff, but I think if you look at the design that we have, it's done in a deliberate way to preserve the house, but also for the least amount of dough. So Don has only got so much dough to go around, and we're trying to find a way to hide the ugly back of the house without making a big event out of it, and certainly not reframing the house. So if you think about this structure in the back, this whole gable section that actually pulls out is actually going to be built out of 2x and just applied to the house, and she's going to pull out 6 inches or so. And then this gable just simply rests on top of the existing roof, and the salt box shape just rests on top of that existing roof, so we don't need to reframe the structure itself, if that makes sense.
So that's what you call the padded wall.
Yes. Well, that's the end of my story right now.
It's interesting, and I was looking at it this morning, and, what you're doing is, it's very interesting to help the house.
Yep.
To bring out the features and to do away with the long face of it and the long flat roof. I think it's
We try very hard to put ourselves in the shoes of who would have built something over time. Somebody built that, then what would the next person do, and what would that look like? And then what would the next person after that do, and what would that look like? And so we try to make things look very natural. And in this case, we're doing that, we've got a budget, and then we have future additions that we'd like to go on the house. And we would like the work today to suit the additions that we go on in the future.
Where's the barn?
It goes right along the streetscape, parallel with the
So
house.
is a connection out to that.
bond's future, right? That's,
Yep. So this is the main street right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Pleasant. And so this connector, come off right here, the gable, and then the barn actually comes a little bit closer to the street, farther over here. So if you can imagine this barn on the street, it's sort of hard to look up and see this other roof line, and you see this beautiful barn connected to a smaller connector that's connected to the back of the house. And we would come and see you in that times, right?
Drops down to the lower parking lot.
Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah, so and we have it designed so it suits the grade.
You know what would be helpful when you come in next time, just, my site plan's always good. Just give us orientation of the structure versus the road and so forth.
Yep. Dawn has hired us. Richard Irons is about as famous of a mason as you can get. Restore the fireplaces. She's hired a timber framer, Matt Diana, to restore the timbers authentically. We've been in and out of the house for the past decade. Some interesting things about the house, if you're really geeky, is a power portion of the sill used to be a top plate for the house, and used to have only primary repetitive members at a 13 slope. Was there a smaller house there with a thatched roof? I don't know, but there's a much older white oak timber used as a sill. Just as about a dozen different pieces of information in the house.
That makes sense, right? And it's older than, yeah, prime house for a reason, right?
I think it's a typical case of either something burnt down or somebody wanted something bigger, but when you hew timbers in the woods, that's an enormous event, a lot of work, so you reuse them. So if you disassemble the house, we go in houses and there's all these reused parts. Never the summer beams, it's always top plates, sills, studs, major posts might have been reused as once there were summer beams or some other main rafter all the time.
The entire foundation must be Fieldsville? Or is it brick?
I'm gonna
Brick or
go-
Fieldsville?
Oh, it's stone.
All stone?
Yep.
So the new
The new little portion would be concrete,
yeah.
and it's gonna just barely stick out of the ground, so we're gonna lift this dirt up just underneath it, and when that new structure goes on the front, it's gonna hide all of this.
That's right, okay.
Yep.
Full cellar?
No, this thing comes out, our addition
5
comes
feet?
out 3-4 feet. Oh, the future addition?
No, I'm just saying, does it have a full cellar?
It has a root cellar under the hall portion of the house, but of course not the parlor.
There was a barn there originally. And
Oh, yeah.
there are photographs of that in the library.
I like the barn idea.
I love it.
I do too.
It's a garage, anyway. So you think of what you do is you drive around the back and you come in a garage door. We put barn doors in front.
Right, that's good.
Yeah,
Drive-through.
we've done that.
Well, it's got 3 acres. You could have a little mini farm if you wanted to.
Chickens, that's it.
There's plenty of those plans.
Linda wants to get rid of the chickens.
Oh, they have a new home on
What
Pleasant
kind?
Street.
I don't know, I want different colored eggs.
Colored eggs? Not a
I got a whole
royal
bunch of
red.
Americanas, the little blue eggs.
Overall, I told Donna today, we've just been waiting so long for this to
It's
come
so
through.
It's an exciting project.
It's so wonderful, the attention to detail is great, and I think you have a good solution for the design constraints that have been presented to you. The
Thank you,
ugliness of the back, if you will, sorry, that's not very nice to say, but,
It is.
and then, of course, your budget, but I think you're attacking it in a smart way, and I like the future barn. I think that's gonna just really be great. It works. It really works well. So pleased to see this project.
Well, the back of the house right now looks like a barracks,
Yeah,
and that's what's really wrong with it.
yeah, it's ugly.
And, but I remember the old barn.
Oh, you do remember it? It was large.
Two sisters used to live there, the Hales.
Oh, is that why it's the prime pale?
Pardon?
They, in town at Ipswich, at the information center, they call it the Prime Hale House, they have a little pamphlet.
Agnes Hale was one of them, I can't remember their sister.
But were they
But the
descendants
land
of?
all the way to Cross Street was part of that. And then Harry Haley and Beth Brown bought that land off of them. They built those 3 or 4 houses down at towards Cross Street.
I had stuff for you too, but I don't know where it is.
Oh.
It's all in my car. But yeah, I went to the library today and went to the archives, and I've got some stuff for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did anybody else get any stuff? No?
Just saying.
Sorry, just-
No, I wonder whether you got anything from Sarah.
Oh,
No, I didn't. I went earlier today just to look it up. You can go to the resource. There's a history room. You
I've
just
been
have-
there, yeah.
Okay.
What I did find was that Mark Prime settled, so it was very hard to find that there was a house there prior to 1752. And in the 1600s, he settled on Pleasant Street, so that says he had a house there, because how else could he settle? And it probably was a thatched roof because he was the fireman, sort of, and he kind of insisted that ladders had to be put up against the houses and on the roof so that he could climb up and check the thatch. My guess, and my story is, which I think is a little bit more romantic, is his house burnt down because of the thatched roof. And pieces of it that could be salvaged was put into this house here that his son built. And there is some charred wood in a couple of places. How
It's very common that you would actually donate a major portion or portion of your home, or your home that's fell to one of your family members.
Cool.
Well, Prime's an old name.
I actually was contacted by Primes in California, who said they had come to see the house, and I'm going to let them know that the house is in progress of being restored, and they want to come back and see it.
Take a lot of photos.
Yeah, I plan on it.
One question, Matt. The window choices you talked about, the beefier windows, little patterns on the front of the Victorian house, or
No.
the Georgian. The Georgian.
Yep.
They would be 9/12.
No, 9/6.
6, yeah.
Seriously.
9/6 and 1 1/8 inch grill.
So, is that similar to what we had at the Gage house?
I don't think we used 1 1/8 inch on that house. I don't recall, but Georgian houses had 1 1/8, period. That's what they had. And then in the federal period, they changed to 7/8. So if we did anything other than 1 1/8, it would be historically incorrect.
Is that going to be something custom made or?
Nope, comes
No.
with a Windows standard. No extra cost.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right. And will you be doing what type of window? So are you ready to was this,
That's all I'm
are we
asking.
ready
This is
to,
preliminary, right?
yeah, I mean, what are you
We'll
asking?
open you a vote tonight,
Yeah,
and we
okay.
could go get a building permit to fix the house.
Okay, so,
We're not moving any doors or windows.
nope, I got that.
Putting everything
So
back where it
you
was,
brought
except
us
for
a
a gable in the back and a
So you
little
brought
shit
us a
over.
sample, so
Yeah.
are we gonna go, so this is what I was trying to get at, so you want us to approve this, the details tonight?
I hope so.
Okay, so let's go over, then let's do that.
There's no new details to show,
No, but let's
because
talk
they're the
about,
existing details, but I'd love to talk about every one of them.
no, I wanna go over, clapboards are gonna be the same, but they're gonna vary between 4 to 3.5 inches to the weather, or they're all gonna be 3.5 to the weather?
Doesn't-
clapboards.
It doesn't work that way.
Okay, so they're gonna vary?
They're gonna have a historic weathering that's less than 4 inches to the weather,
Okay.
if you're gonna write something down.
Yeah, I have to write it up, so that
That's cool.
I want to know where we're going with this.
Yeah, we'll line it up with the heads and sills, and then we'll space it appropriately. Will it end up being 3 3/8? Will it end up being 3 5/8?
Modifying it down as you go.
Yep.
Okay, no less than 3, or no more than 3.5? What would you say? I'm writing it down.
Just write less than 4 inches to the weather,
Got it.
spaced architecturally correct.
Okay.
So modern clapboard's usually 4 inches plus, and that small half-inch difference in variation on the facade makes a huge difference. and whether you see the actual lines of the clapboards or whether it has a texture across the whole facade. So when you see old, original clapboards, not from 1850, but from like 1730, which is very rare, Colonial Williamsburg kind of stuff, it looks very, very different than smaller spacing. And then the client pays all of like 3 to 5 more clapboards on the facade. So this whole thing about spacing your clapboards 4 more inches is to save pennies. It's like an old ranch house when you have a 2x4 roof rafters. It drives me nuts.
Smooth side
Got it
out.
on my chest.
Smooth side.
Yep, always.
So these drawings are dated December 15, so they're a year and a half old.
Yep.
So,
We're working with Donna for 9 years. But we're here.
so you're going to file a building permit with this one?
No,
So you've got other drawings that are on the table?
we're gonna do construction drawings, but the design will not change.
Okay.
So then, let's go to the architectural asphalt shingles will be dark, weatherwood, or equal.
Yes.
Okay. Window will be Sheldon sight line.
Wood. Putty grill. 9/6 on the Georgian home,
6/6.
on the remainder.
What about gutters and downspouts?
So, at the moment, we're not necessarily proposing any gutters. So, except for the little shed, which we have a little half-moon gutter. Maybe we'll put a little gutter up here, I'm not sure. But we don't intend on having any gutters on the front of the house at the moment. We don't intend on having any gutters except for the shed, and maybe a small portion of gutter in this one little section that you wouldn't see. Okay? If we decide we want to put a gutter on, whether that's a V shape or another gutter, I think Donna would come back and see it. Okay?
Okay.
That decision has a lot to do with she spends more time at the house and whether she sees where the water comes into her cellar, etc. Okay?
Any fences, any other things that, I'm going down my list of everything, I'm trying to do one-stop shopping here.
No, I appreciate that. It's a funny project because it's a big project, but there's not, let's say, there's not much changing. So let's see. You can write that the fascias. How about this?
The trim.
The existing facial soffit
Yeah.
at the perimeter of the home will be retained in its historic character. Any removal will be replaced in like kind.
Yep, okay. I think, trim door, what about doors? Are they
So they're
being,
already on the drawings, but you can write it down. You can say,
no, but nothing's changing, they're just gonna be remilled or replaced to exact as match?
we're gonna
Okay.
replace the existing
Okay.
wooden doors with new to match.
Okay. No, that was easy. Anything else on this one?
The size of the windows, you say 9/6. Is the pane size 7x9?
No, I think they're closer to 6x8, but, so, I don't wanna get into whether it's, how do I say this? The original window glass size would be 6x8, but the window glass got wooded that way. That doesn't mean that was the reveal on the glass. So then when your joiner made the window, the original windows would fluctuate in and out half an inch or so, because the glass was ordered first, the wood second. So to answer your question, what size is the window pane? They're 6/8. So the Jeld-Wen windows fit in the opening. So would a 6-inch really be 5 7/8? Would be 6 1/16?
Reveal, right,
I
based
don't
on how you
know.
reveal it, why
Right.
you want to do it.
But I don't think anybody in their right mind would go up with a tape measure and measure to see whether it's an 1/8 of an inch.
No, it's just a question.
No, it's a smart question, yeah. These other windows are the 6/6 are closer to 7x9.
All right, so, is that everything for now?
Yeah, that 1/8 grill and the small window panes, it's just, you're gonna drive down the street, it's gonna slam you right in the face. It's gonna look like a historic house. You'll see like, now that's what first period homes and second period homes in Raleigh used to look like. Yep.
The brick in the chimney, is it all good?
Richard Irons has come by and looked at it, and he's already done some repair work to the chimneys. Yep.
Okay, so what happens on the exterior,
Chimney's gonna stay as is.
it's painted white?
It's parged over.
So.
It's got the original drip caps, I think, on it. It has drip caps on it too, which I think is super cool.
We're gonna approve the drawings that have been submitted to us this evening. That's how we're gonna do it. We're not gonna talk about the barn this time. We'll have a plan to come back and do the connection piece of the barn at a later date.
I thought it was important to bring it in and show you,
Yeah, I
so
know.
you could see it in context. And next time, we're gonna bring a site plan so you can see it in context with the site.
That helps me.
No, you're right, you should.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess these will be the drawings that we are approving.
So we'll make a motion.
Yeah.
All right.
Please.
So I'll make a motion to approve the drawings as submitted by Cummings Architects dated 12/21/15.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. So, building permit, you wanna go for that this week or next week? No, all right,
We're gonna spend a lot of time with the drawings, so we'll probably be at them for 2 or 3 weeks.
okay,
But,
so,
is there an appeal here? Do you have a written decision to make?
21 days to get my decision to you, but I usually do it faster than that.
We'll talk.
Okay, that's
Don't-
fine. I didn't know how,
Spend time
I
with your
didn't
husband and
know,
enjoy your life.
I didn't know how fast you wanted this, but
Tomorrow.
I'm pretty
No,
good
don't
at,
worry.
well, tomorrow's problem, but I'm pretty speedy at these things, because most people are hot to trot, so, okay. So
Well, we're
have
pretty
some time.
detailed, so.
Okay, very good.
Good, thanks,
All right.
guys.
Thank you,
wonderful.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's exciting
Good luck.
work.
It's really great, yes.
I appreciate you fixing up an old house.
Well, I think she
Matt,
deserves to be
do we
said.
have,
Yeah.
her an email? Did you get my email?
I think it's 5 or 6 years.
Is it-
Did you send it today?
No, I sent you an email for the agenda on Friday. I didn't get a bounce back, but I didn't hear from you. I tried calling your office today a couple of times and I couldn't get through. They said the number was disconnected.
We're still in business.
Yeah,
There's 8 of us there.
356-3052.
Nope, 506, 5026.
But that's the number I called, the one from your
Well, let's
website.
talk tomorrow, that doesn't make sense.
I know, I called several times and that's why I called Donna. I couldn't get a hold of you today.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah, no, you should.
Somebody might be calling for $1 zillion job.
I know. And I know, so that's why it's like, it's on here, the drawings, your number hasn't changed in years.
No, and the phone was ringing off the hook today.
Yeah, so I don't know why I couldn't get through. so-
We have 2 lines, so on occasions, rare occasions,
That's weird.
somebody calls third line, there isn't a third line.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's weird.
It is weird.
Well, just so you know.
Oh, I appreciate that.
But you did get an email, so did your email change?
Nope.
Are you Matt@CummingsArchitects.com?
The only thing I can imagine is Verizon's been in and out of our new building.
I know you're in relocation mode. All right, so just because I want to make sure all this gets emailed. Donna, will you please write down your email? If I have communication errors with Matt, I can always contact you.
Did you move to a new building? Where is it?
It's, you know, the Riverwalk is in Ipswich,
Uh-huh.
in a circle.
Yes.
Yeah, we're right, that's our building now.
Awesome.
It's nice.
I didn't know that, that's wonderful,
So,
yeah.
you hear the river go, and you get this, you're at work, and
It's a lovely setting,
yeah,
that's
it's got the
great.
water, the dam is there, the water going over it. There's a giant logs stuck on the dam,
Okay.
so there's
Is that the duck?
there were ducks there the other day, what are they, cormorants, is that what they're called? The black-
Cormorants.
Yeah,
Yep.
they were
Oh, the comrades?
coming back up with fish,
They're a diver.
nice, it's nice.
Cool.
That's
All
wonderful.
right.
Okay,
Well, thank you
Okay,
very
well,
much.
we'll be in
Phone issues.
contact then, Matt. Thank you very
Thanks, Erin.
much.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you, Donna.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
It's great meeting you all.
So that's it for the agenda this evening. There aren't any more items, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir. This was your last official meeting.
I know, so I'm trying to give it as much as I can.
You've given us all.
I learned a lot tonight.
Would you
Thank you.
consider being an alternate?
The what?
Would you consider being an alternate?
Possibly, I'll talk to somebody. But my mother-in-law's been in ER and 5 times since January, and is in rehab now, she's in rehab, and it's just a continuous work. She's very stubborn, she doesn't want to go to assisted living, and she wants to go home, so she's going home Saturday. But what I wanted to bring up was, now that I have the Historic Commission eyes that I acquired over the past year, when I go around town, I look at things. And one question I have is, the house that's on 33, if you're coming from Agawam towards Rowley, there was a house on the left that had a big barn.
Yeah.
Chance.
So, now it's gone. Did they ever come?
The roof let go.
Yeah.
And,
The storm, a couple months ago.
And they, in the springtime here, they knocked it down. But of course, whatever their name is, they built that big barn out back.
Yeah.
And,
It fell down, didn't it? The inside caved in.
well, the roof let go, and then they just brought an excavator.
Now that stockpiling all the beans, there were people in there stockpiling to take
I saw all the Philly.
There's a pond there, and it's slowly
Okay,
starting.
I just thought the attic comes before, I didn't know it
It's
fell.
a shame, it's just like watching it.
I was wondering why you come to us with that. And then my other comment is that, I almost mentioned it with Matt here. The house across from the kitty corner from the VFW there, I tell you, I'd love to see that get moved.
Oh, wouldn't that be lovely?
The one that's for sale?
Oh, I
Dean
know.
Conley owns it. No,
Yeah.
oh, the one next to it.
Yeah, the one next to the
You
one.
know what the
Oh.
problem
Yeah.
is, there's no land.
There's no land.
No land. And I think they'll probably end up scooping that up.
Well, let's hope somebody
I
gets
actually
it,
did that
develop
looking at
it,
it.
you know?
It's an interesting looking house.
It's an old house, you can see all the changes that have
I
gone
know.
on inside, it's.
It's
It's a
really
great
nice.
project for you now that you've got all this time on your
There's
hands.
a lot of, yeah.
It's like this
You actually
TV
have to
show.
rent.
That's the thing, I don't advertise.
It's still live.
Three away.
This is very
He's
important.
not that old.
No, it's still live on TV.
It'd be wonderful if somebody could.
All right, so,
I'll make a motion
if
to
those are
adjourn.
all the comments, then we should go to adjournment.
I'll have a second.
I will second.
All in
Last
favor?
time.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.